I'd like to call the Oakland County Board of Commissioners meeting for August 9th, 2018 to order, and I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Commissioners Berman? Here. Bowman? Here. Crawford?
Here.
Dwyer is excused. Fleming? Here. Gershenson? Gingell?
Here.
Hoffman?
Here.
Jackson? Welcome back. Oh, Jackson? Thank you. Kokendorfer?
Here.
Kowal?
Here.
Long?
Here.
McGilvray?
Here.
Middleton? Here. Quarles? Spiz?
Here.
Taub? Here. Teets? Here. Weipert? Here. Woodward? Here. Zach? Here. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. This morning our invocation will be given by the Honorable Christine Long. I'd ask Commissioner Long to come forward to the podium, and I'd ask that you all please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Long.
All right, good morning. Let us pray. God of wisdom and truth, as this county commission gathers to deliberate and decide on matters so important to the present and future well-being of Oakland County, bless and guide its members through the grace of your Spirit. Help them each to set aside petty concerns that together they might best serve the common good of Oakland County residents and honor the purposes for which they were elected. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll now take an approval of the minutes from July 19th, 2018, moved by Fleming, supported by Zach. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Minutes are approved. And now we'll move on to the approval of the agenda, and for that I'll call on the Majority Caucus Chair, Commissioner Shelley Taub. Commissioner Taub.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have no additions to the agenda, so I would like to move the agenda as posted.
Okay, so I have a motion from Taub to adopt the agenda as presented, supported by Woodward. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll on the agenda.
Commissioners Bowman? Yes. Crawford?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Gershenson? Gingell?
Yes.
Hoffman? Yes. Jackson? Yes. Kokendorfer? Yes. Kowal? Yes. Long?
Yes.
McGilvray?
Yes.
Middleton? Yes. Quarles? Yes. Spiz?
Yes.
Taub?
Yes.
Teets? Yes. Weipert?
Yes.
Woodward? Yes. Zach?
Yes.
Berman?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 20 yeas, 0 nays.
20 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda as presented has been adopted. And before we move on to other items, I guess we'll start with the communications piece. Today we have a number of proclamations that we want to present. And for those that aren't familiar with this section of our meeting, it's the time we get to recognize special organizations and special individuals from the county's perspective. So today we have a number of them, and I would like to start with the honor of recognizing Dale Cunningham. So if Dale, you could meet me in this podium, I would appreciate it.
Should I give a speech?
Go right ahead, man.
So Dale, I'm not going to give this to you yet. You're not going to give this to you yet. So Dale has been with the county and with the Sheriff's Department for many, many years. And he's been responsible for keeping all the books and finances in order, which he's done a miraculous job. And he decided to retire. So now he's either working on his honey-do list or playing golf or doing other things. But we wanted to take an opportunity as the board to recognize you for what you've done for the county and for the Sheriff's Department. And I just want to read the proclamation that we put together. So honoring Dale Cunningham, whereas we are all indebted to the dedicated and hardworking individuals who have committed themselves to improving the quality of life in Oakland County through their exemplary service in the public sector. And whereas Dale Cunningham is one of such individual who has devoted 41 years of service to Oakland County. Mr. Cunningham, a Michigan native, was hired by the county in 1976, and as a recent college graduate via Old Federal Grant program known as CETA, he has started his professional career in the accounting division, transferred to the budget division after 5 years. 4 years later, he became the fiscal officer for the Oakland County Sheriff, a position which he has held and executed successfully for the past 32 years. That deserves applause. And I see the Undersheriff Mike McCabe here, so I want to call the Undersheriff up as well to be with us, because I'm going to read all these things about you, and then we'll let him say a few things, and we'll get the truth out. Whereas, as the fiscal officer, Mr. Cunningham managed a budget of over $150 million, supervised approximately 30 employees, and handled all business operations of the sheriff's office. He served under both Sheriff John Nichols and Sheriff Mike Bouchard. During his tenure, the sheriff's office was always physically sound. In 1999, Mr. Cunningham helped save $1.7 million per year when a private contractor was hired to serve food in the jail kitchen. Savings from that allowed the sheriff's office to purchase the county's 2 helicopters and other equipment. He was also vital in guiding the office through the budget downturn in the late 2000s, finding innovative solutions without laying off deputies or other employees, and has been a vital component of executing the sheriff's office mission to protect the public while also protecting the public's tax dollars. Whereas in honor of his retirement, we join Mr. Cunningham's family, including his wife of 40 years, Helen, who's here this morning with us, and as many... In all honesty, we all know Dale. We should be giving you one of these proclamations. I mean, the next meeting. In honor of his retirement, we want to join with his family, including Helen and many colleagues and friends, to honor and congratulate him on a long and successful career. Now, therefore, I, Michael J. Gingell, Chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, together with the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim special commendation to Dale Cunningham for his many years of dedicated service to Oakland County. We wish him all the best in his future retirement, and on behalf of the board, a heartfelt thank you for all that you've done for the board, the Sheriff's Department, and the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of Sheriff Mike Bouchard, I can't express my feelings. I don't want to get broken up here. So it was November of 1992, Dale, I believe, when John Nichols sentenced me to come to the board of, made me, along with Dale, the liaison to the Board of Commissioners. So Dale and I have been a tag team here, as you know, since November of 1992. That's a long time. And some people say we look like twins. I'm not sure. A little resemblance. But, he's not nearly as old. Okay. Dale's been like a brother to me. We've been through a lot together. And when he announced he was retiring, there's a huge hole in the sheriff's office that has to be filled. Gaya's stepping up to the plate and gonna fill those shoes, and she's got big shoes to fill. And I just, on a personal basis, I can't thank you enough, brother. God bless you. Thank you.
I'll keep it brief. I want to thank, basically the county executive and the commissioners for a wonderful career. 41 years here, and you guys treated me right the whole time, so I have no complaints. And the other reason why I want to thank you is because I met my wife here at the county. She used to work for the county clerk in the old days. So thank you again, and I had a great career. Bye now.
Good job.
Next on our agenda, we have a proclamation from Commissioners Janet Jackson and Nancy Corals. So I'll ask Commissioner Jackson and Commissioner Corals to come up to the podium.
that, I'd like to have Anthony Stafford McDonald step up. Introducing Mr. Stafford McDonald this morning as he is the Fund Development Director for Michigan Crime Stoppers of Michigan, as we proclaim them today for their 25th anniversary of serving our community. I'm sure that everyone here, or mostly everyone here, has seen Crime Stoppers and the work that they do on behalf of families and individuals who have had loved ones and people close to them either murdered or suffering severe emotional crisis because of unsolved murders and unsolved cases. In September of 2017, for instance, Paul Ross was killed by a stray bullet during a street altercation with amongst another party, someone he was not even involved with. As his family stepped up, they stated that he was a husband, a best friend, always there in time of need and for someone else. Christopher Stinson, 5 years ago, a young naval officer, husband, father, was walking home in Detroit near Lasser and 6 Mile and shot once in the chest. The family states even after 5 years, there is no getting over it. When one person is murdered in a family, especially an unsolved murder, a whole family is murdered. But silence is the killer. And Crime Stopper gives a chance for people who might have details or knowledge about these unsolved crimes to come forward and help solve this for the sake of families. Providing information is not snitching, as that concept goes out of the window when someone in your family or a loved one is killed. So today, Commissioner Quarles and myself would like to present Anthony Stafford McDonald and Crime Stoppers of Michigan in honoring their 25th anniversary. Crime Stoppers of Michigan is located in Southfield. Their offices are on 9 Mile Road, and the broadcasts are also taped from that same office. So, whereas we all owe a great debt to the dedicated individuals and organizations like Crime Stoppers of Michigan that are committed to creating safer communities for residents and families.
Whereas by providing an avenue for anonymous reporting of crime, Crime Stoppers of Michigan has helped empower people to make their neighborhoods, schools, and business safer. It serves 7 counties statewide and including Oakland County, and provide resources, communications, and community support to families impacted by crimes
And whereas on its 25th anniversary, we join with the law enforcement community and the people of Oakland County to recognize Crime Stoppers of Michigan for its tireless efforts to prevent crime, support local communities, and make our county and region a safer place to raise a family. Therefore, Michael J. Gingell, Chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, together with Commissioners Janet Jackson, as well as the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim commendation to Crime Stoppers of Michigan. We wish the organization continued success with their important mission of preventing crime and creating safer communities.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, to all commissioners present and leadership, especially to Commissioners Jackson, Commissioner Quarles. I'm very honored to accept this proclamation on behalf of our 25th anniversary, our CEO and President, Dan DiBardino, and our chairperson of our board, Lou Schmidt Jr. We are so appreciative for our home county to take this moment out of your busy schedules to think of us. And on behalf of the families, the individuals that we've served, we're honored to be here. We look forward to serving you in even a greater capacity over the next 25 years. So thank you very much, and we're very honored to be here, and thank you for thinking of us.
Next, we'll have a proclamation from Commissioner Berman, so I'll ask that Commissioner Berman come up to the podium.
So if I could have Vivian Zong and Kylie DeAndrea join me, please. This is a rough proclamation today. So about a month ago, it was my honor to judge the Miss Oakland County Scholarship Pageant. And again, rough job, right? Miss Oakland County is a local affiliate to Miss Michigan and Miss American pageants. And with more than 5,000 local programs nationwide, they are the largest scholarship organization for women in the world. And I can't tell you how much fun it was, but quite frankly, very challenging. I was so impressed with how incredibly talented, strong, and poised all the contestants were. And because of that, I'm very encouraged and inspired by the future women of tomorrow. The program consisted of 5 different phases of competition. It wasn't just a beauty contest. Evening wear was a component. A very rigorous private interview was a component. On-stage interview question that you were not prepared for. Your respective talents, dancing and piano playing, which was remarkable. And the last swimwear that we'll see, as most of you are aware of, that has been eliminated from the competition, but this was a historic moment because it is the last time that will be part of this competition. And we talked about that at some of the private interviews, and I know that the young ladies feel very empowered by that portion of the competition. So unfortunately, that's not going to continue to be part of the competition, but the talent, the interviews, it was just amazing. So the reason we're here today, in a crowded field of talented young women, 2 stood out like shining stars in every category. And they were just flat out more remarkable than their competition. Vivian Zong and Kylie DeAndrea. They will be representing us at Miss Michigan competition, and I'm confident will make us proud. So now I'd like to just take a quick moment to read some excerpts from the proclamations we'll be presenting today, and then I want to allow each of them to take a moment to talk a little bit about their respective platforms. So first, Kylie, whereas 2018 Miss Oakland County Outstanding Teen Kylie DeAndrea is a shining example of young women with tremendous potential. She's committed to helping others in need and has volunteered with different organizations, serving meals and packing lunches. And whereas Kylie's personal platform is Ignited in Faith, where she collects donations from the homeless, including water, hygiene products, and snacks. And whereas the Miss Oakland County Scholarship Program, as I mentioned, is a preliminary pageant to Miss Michigan and Miss America, we want to today proudly join with Kylie's family and friends to recognize her many accomplishments and honor her for possessing the talent, intelligence, and character to win the title and crown of 2018 Miss Oakland County Outstanding Teen. Now, therefore, I, Michael Gingell, Chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, together with Commissioner Tom Berman and the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim special commendation for Kylie for being selected as 2018 Miss Oakland County Outstanding Teen. Congratulations. And similarly, whereas 2018 Miss Oakland County Vivian Zong is a shining example of young women, and she is currently a senior at the University of Michigan and is studying to be a pediatric oncologist. And whereas Vivian's platform, integrating tradition, bridging the generational gap, a cause that she has dedicated herself since she was 16 years old. She volunteers regularly with elementary school children through the Kay Graham's Pen Pal program and donates her time reading in the classroom. And she also volunteers at Parkway Meadows Senior Apartments. And whereas the Miss Oakland County Scholarship Program is the preliminary pageant to Miss Michigan and Miss America. Today, we stand proudly with her parents and her friends and family to recognize her many accomplishments and honor her for possessing the talent, intelligence, and character to win the title and crown of 2018 Miss Oakland County. Now, therefore, I, Michael J. Gingell, Chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, together with Commissioner Tom Berman, and the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim special commendation to Vivian Zong for being selected as 2018 Miss Oakland County. So, congratulations to both of you, and if you would like to just take a moment to tell everybody about your platform.
Hi, I'm Kylie DeAndrea, the new Miss Oakland County's Outstanding Teen. Thank you. And my platform is Ignited in Faith. So I worked with McCrest, which is the organization that encourages people to believe in God and gives them hope through faith. So I make these bags called Faith in the Bag, which is everyday necessities, and I've made 200 of them. And I put toothbrushes, toothpaste, dental floss, a bunch of hygiene products, and I put a Bible verse in there too, just to give them that extra hope. And hopefully I'm encouraging them to believe in God, and I love doing this because it really just makes me feel good that I'm helping people and maybe I can be changing their lives.
Hi everyone, my name is Vivian Zong and I'm the new Miss Oakland County. I live in Northville, Michigan, and I am 21 years old and I will be graduating this coming year from the University of Michigan. I'm majoring in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience on the pre-medical track, hoping to one day become a pediatric oncologist. My platform is integrating tradition, bridging the generational gap. And I really work to make sure that intergenerational relationships are forged between younger children and senior citizens. Because the impact that my grandparents had on me when I was younger really helped me overcome so many obstacles in my life and has made me the person that I am today. So I have firsthand seen the experiences that having that intergenerational elder role model can do for a young person. The Miss Oakland County Scholarship Program this year was proud to award over $5,000 to the contestants, and I was able to get over $1,400 in scholarship toward my degree, which I know my mom is very thankful for. She goes. We are very lucky to have a new sponsor, Oakland University, for donating the Department of Engineering, their auditorium, as our venue this year, and we are so excited to work with Rochester Hills, as well as Auburn Hills more to be able to get more sponsors and be out there. I'm so excited to be Miss Oakland County this year, and I look forward to serving this community. And if anybody has any appearances or events that they would like me to attend, I would be honored and would love to speak and attend those events. Thank you so much once again.
So as you can tell, remarkable young ladies, and I only hope that my two daughters will follow in your footsteps and be as poised and strong and as talented as you two are, and I should have just let them speak. I had no business up here, so thank you and congratulations.
So we're going to deviate a little bit from the agenda this morning. Vice Chairman Spiz, and I'd ask Clerk Lisa Brown to come join us. We have another special individual that we want to recognize, and so I would ask Ida Logan to come up to the podium. who, as you can tell, was not expecting it and who does survey our agendas, which is why we didn't put it on the agenda. But Ida has worked in the clerk's office for a long period of time, working with the Board of Commissioners, and today's her last day in that role. She's transferring to another role within the county. So we wanted to take a minute to say thank you and to recognize you. I know Commissioner Spiz has a proclamation. I know the clerk would like to say a few things. So why don't we proceed in that order, and then we'll let you speak if you want to.
Thank you. Always love surprises. Whereas we are all indebted to the dedicated individuals who have worked hard to improve our communities and county through their service in the public sector. And whereas Ida Logan started working for Oakland County Elections Division in March of 2010. Ida's responsibilities have included assisting with canvassing elections, registering citizens to vote, staffing Board of Commissioners meetings, and more. Ida's first worked for Oakland County when she was hired by the IT department in 2005. And whereas through her 8 years of service in the election division, Ida has always had a positive attitude, which I can attest to. She's always smiling, which you can tell, and trained many co-workers. Ida leaves the election division as a county clerk record specialist for her new role with the risk management department. And whereas on occasion for Ida's last Board of Commissioners meeting in her current role, we joined the Oakland County Clerk, Lisa Brown, and all of Ida's colleagues to thank her for her service to the elections divisions, the Board of Commissioners, and the entire Oakland County. Now therefore be resolved, Michael J. Gingell, Chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, together with the entire Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim commendation to Ida Logan. We appreciate her service. We'll miss her greatly at our Board of Commissioners meetings with her smile, always smiling, and wish her all her best in her new position.
Ida, in the 5.5 years that I have the pleasure of working with you, I know that you have gone through a lot of personal challenges, and more than anybody should in a lifetime, let alone in the short span of 5.5 years. And I know what a strong woman you are. I know what a loving and proud mother you are of your daughter, who's a fabulous dancer, by the way. And it's hard for me because you are such an asset. Don't make me cry. Okay. You are such an asset to my staff. And I envy risk management. I know that you're going to do an outstanding job there as you have here. And I wish you all the best in everything that you do.
Sorry, yeah.
Can't do that. Do you want to say anything?
It's been a pleasure. I'm going to definitely miss you guys, but it won't be the last. You guys will see me. I'll definitely come visit.
All right.
Please do. Please do. Thank you.
All right, come on, let's. And as we conclude communications, I'll just ask the clerk if there's any other communications to come before us this morning.
Yep, we have one.
Yeah, you're welcome to say something.
Okay. So before I read this communication from Chair Gingell, he's given me the opportunity to preface it with that I am going to be conducting a review of the election, things that happened in our precincts. We know that there were some anomalies, but there were also some things that could have been preventable. And there's a lot of questions, and I'm not going to stop until we get answers. So with that said, and I look forward to working with the board. on what I'm about to read. So, dated August 9th, 2018, to the members of the Board of Commissioners. Dear colleagues, please accept this communication as notification that I have established an ad hoc committee to study Oakland County's election system infrastructure, processes, and procedures. I am charging this committee with conducting an in-depth assessment of the election system infrastructure, processes, and procedures relative to ability to manage the historically high levels of voter turnout. The committee shall seek input from voters, poll workers, election administrators, candidates, and other relevant individuals regarding events that occurred during the administration of the August 7th, 2018 election. These concerns may include, but not necessarily be limited to, reports of ballot shortages in numerous precincts throughout Oakland County. The committee shall present a report to the Board of Commissioners with their findings and recommendations within 45 days of this appointment. The members of the ad hoc committee on Oakland County's election infrastructure will be Tom Berman, co-chair, Nancy Quarles, co-chair, Adam Kokendorfer, and Marcia Gershenson. Your approval of the creation of this committee and confirmation of these appointments are respectfully requested. Sincerely, Michael J. Gingell, Chairman, Oakland County Board of Commissioners.
Without objection, the communication will be received and filed, and the appointments will be confirmed. That should be all the communication to come before us this morning, and so we will now move to public comment. I know that there are a number of individuals that have signed up for public comment, and as is our custom, we ask that you address the board from the podium in the back. You can address all your comments to me as the chair. Public comment is the time for you to make comment and for it to go on record. We do not typically engage in discussion during public comment, and we also ask that you try to keep your comments concise. We do have a clock that will help you from a perspective of keeping them within 3 minutes. If you hear a beep, it means the time has run out, and I'll just ask you to work with us to conclude your comments as quickly as possible. So I have Jeff White, Jody White, and then Victoria McCaskey, it looks like. So we'll start with Jeff White first, if you would, please.
Hello, my name's Jeff White, and I was here at a previous commissioners meeting. I think I recognize a lot of your faces. And I appreciate you being here, Chairman, and Ms. Lisa Brown. I missed you last time because I did want to speak to you directly about some things that are taking place in the probate court. And I think you're aware of it, where people are losing properties with the public administrators here and things of that nature. So, Chairman, you were kind enough to give me Chris Ward last time that I was here. I did go into the back room with Mr. Ward. Really nothing has come of that, what I followed up on the state level. So I'm coming back to the commissioners on a county level here. I know he did give me a letter from some of the judges that spoke about misinformation coming out of the probate court. I don't want to be labeled a disgruntled person, as I have been labeled by a couple public administrators, but I am angry about this situation, that the letter comes out about misinformation. I wish they would elaborate on that misinformation. So I'm going to try to be very brief and concise, and I'm not going to go over my entire situation, but on my situation, I want you to know that my public administrator that's seeing over my father's estate has not done an accounting since 2016. And I want to introduce you to some other, it's not a group, they're actual individuals that have been in that courtroom. And there's major situations, and these individuals are being harmed by these public administrators. And so I invite you on any Wednesday at 8:30, as I've invited you last time, to come out and start viewing what's going on in this probate court. And I'm gonna end here because I got about 1 minute here, but if one of these individuals that are about to come up and speak and go over a little bit, please give them just a little bit of time, because I'm going to give that time to them, or if I can. But I want to comment on one individual that surrounds all these public administrators, and his name is Joe Ehrlich. And I'm going to name his name today because I know that he's had a lot of situations in Macomb County, and in 2005, he was sanctioned in Macomb County for his misconduct. I'm not going to go further than that right now, but I'm going to give the floor to others. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have Jody White is next.
Hi, again, I was here last time as a citizen of Wayne County, I actually won my election for state rep candidate. So I'm running as a Republican candidate, and under Article 11 in the state constitution, we're supposed to be looking for corruption. It's a role of a state rep. I'm taking my job highly seriously because I have asked for Mr. Hutton to help us. He is the probate administrator that has been there for us, and he is the one that we also showed him that letter from the judge that, who is Mr. Crawford though? Because I need to give you a hug, whoever you are. I don't really know who you are, but thank you. Hug for at least giving a crap, because I've been sending emails out for so long. I'm Jody White, if anybody gets my email. White Family of Westland. Thank you. You're the only person so far that has even tried to help us. So I want to be like you. I'm going to grow up. I'm going to be mentored by you before I become a state rep, because that's what I'm doing. I'm working for the people. So in the meantime, I'm also videotaping everything in here because we cannot videotape what's happening out there. I'm being followed by the sheriff's department, and I don't like it. They stand by me. They breathe over my shoulder. They startle me. I'm just taking notes. I have been at every meeting, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday of last week in the probate court, looking for any of you guys. People over here, again, I gave you guys some kudos because when they were talking last week, you guys spoke and asked questions. Please ask questions of these people that are coming up after us. One of the ladies is from Indiana. I'm trying to get her on the phone. The other lady is from Kentucky. She's trying to get on the phone. And there's another lady from Chicago that is in here. They're coming. It is a state problem right now that is happening in our Michigan with our judicial system. And we are the purse strings here, that you pay these people to do their job. They are under a code of conduct, and we have canons that they are violating. And again, I'm going to use my whole 3 minutes, if you don't mind. I do want the judges to respect my family, the White family. And I married the middle guy, and I don't know why I got the middle guy, but we are getting screwed in that courtroom, literally. Our property's in foreclosure. I was in here for a show cause hearing with Judge McMillan. Oh, it wasn't this beautiful building. This is when we did it with the treasurer. We were in some cramped little courtroom up in the circuit court with McMillan, and they had a bunch of us cattled in there, hot, stuffy, and they were taking our property from us, and we're with the public administrator, and he didn't pay our taxes. I'm a realtor for 35 years, and I'm going to be the next state rep in November because I want the people in here to please help us at a state level take care of our state. It is a great state, and I'm a Trump girl, by the way, and I want this nation to be great the way it was. And I'm going to ask these little girls here that just got her crown to help me because they're amazing. In the name of Jesus we pray, amen.
Okay, next we have Victoria McCassie and then Mimi Brew, maybe? Sorry if I'm not pronouncing these right.
Good morning. My name is Victoria McCasey, and I thank you for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. I want to tell you up front that I have a closed head injury and that all my life I have suffered from dyslexia. So, if I kind of ramble on, please be patient. My partner of 34 years killed himself back in November 2016. He had Alzheimer's. We were not married, but we were partners through life. I was put in the will to inherit everything. From the point of his cousin coming on board to represent the estate, we tried to go forward and do as much as we could to fix up the farm because he did have Alzheimer's, and when they have that disease, they become very paranoid about money, about their caretakers, and it's just part of the disease. So we went in and tried to fix the farm up. It's a Christmas tree farm, and we hadn't had a water softener in that building for over 3 years, so we had a lot of problems. Before I wanted it to go forward and go on the market to sell it, to put the money into the estate, I put money into the farm and fixed it up. We had a flood, and I had to call the insurance company to have them come in and help us put the house back together, and from that point, everything went crazy. I had 2 nieces that showed up from out of state who I've met 2 times in 34 years that wanted to get involved and take everything I've ever worked my entire life with this man that I loved, Conrad Rader. They came in, they hired an attorney from Michigan. He came in, he had asked the cousin, Sheila McCoy, who had been very good friends, that we had been very good friends through the years with Conrad. That was his cousin. They were very close. So she knew exactly what his request was going to be for the estate and the assets. From this point, she put the house in my name and all the cars because we needed to have the property insured properly. We found out if we went to probate or they got involved that they were only going to put insurance for renters. You can't have that when you have people coming on an active farm. So with that, she put the house in my name. The nieces hired an attorney, told them that she was giving me all the assets, which couldn't be further from the truth. And you'll find out from the evidence that when it came time for me to sign everything back over and put it in the estate, that's exactly what I did. I have never taken anything out of the bank accounts. I've only done what I did for this man because I loved him, okay? From this point, we went to court because the nieces got involved. We couldn't find the will. And from this point, I felt like I was in criminal court. I've had nothing but the attorneys that are involved and the judge and her assistant, and I'll tell you Judge Callahan and her assistant Christine, say the things that we did were egregious. Now that word egregious to me was offensive because I had never met these people before. They didn't know anything about me. They started treating me like a criminal. I am the victim, and I have been victimized over and over again with the court. I am shocked and appalled by their behavior. They have hunted me down, chased me down, falsely accused me of murdering the man that I love, that killed himself because he had Alzheimer's. They've accused me of taking things off the property. They will not let me have my own things. They tell me that they're going to decide what is mine and what they're going to take. The bottom line to all this is I've never seen so much corruption with the judge and the attorneys. They're all in bed together, and all they care about is getting my life savings that I've worked my entire life for. And let me tell you the strive that I feel towards these people. God forgive me. But I have enough on my plate. I don't need to have to go to court and be accused of being a criminal for a person that I love and took care of for 34 years. I don't want to be beat up anymore, and I'm coming to you to ask you to please do your job and get in there and clean this mess up. Because these people are not going to stop. And now I've got to use the little money I have to go in and try to get what's rightfully mine. This is wrong. This is out of control, and I'm ashamed to say that I'm a resident of Oakland County. Now I'm asking and pleading, please do something. And I'm really shocked that I just found out that there's a Barbara Antelucci that's been hired by these judges who's under investigation for being a criminal. Well, I'm sorry to say, but birds of a feather flock together.
If you could take a minute and conclude, ma'am, we'd appreciate it.
All I'm asking is for you to please help us. This is not only happening to me, this is happening to other families. And it's not fair that we have to fight for what is ours and have to go up against these judges and attorneys that know the law, that use the law for them to take our assets, period. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Mimi Brua, B-R-U-H. I apologize for the pronunciation. Oh, okay, thank you. Brun, sorry.
Yeah, see. First of all, I have been living, I'm an American. I've worked internationally all my life, building a little academy, French-American Academy in Paris for the past 10 years. My mom's a single mom. I've been close with her all my life. She's a tough cookie. She's just retired at almost 90 years old. And I come to see her a lot. I left Detroit very young, moved to Chicago to build a career. A couple of years ago, in about 2016, my mom just had a tiny little flu incident, but she retired and was getting weak, and I decided to take her for rehab on doctor's suggestion. Since the day I took my mother to rehab, I've been living with a motto all over the world that says, Free Jean 2016. Then it became Free Jean 2017, and this year it's been Free Jean 2018. Jean is my mother. People ask me, where's your mother? I said, she's incarcerated. Where? Is she in Syria? Is she in Iraq? Is she in Korea? Where is she? I go, she's here in Detroit. How is she incarcerated at 92? Well, she was so-called kidnapped by a probate court that violated every statute and law under guardianship and conservatorship, Michigan court rules and laws, and I know them by heart. Judge Hallmark, number one, delegates all her power to a staff attorney who works in a back room colluding with attorneys, public administrators, and nursing homes to railroad elderly people who have assets only into isolated, demented, terminally ill wards of nursing homes when they're not even sick. My mom didn't have an illness. She was not demented. She had nothing wrong with her. She's been isolated for 2 years, not allowed to see me, not allowed to be with her own daughter because they want our house. On the transcript railroading my mother, the judge says, I'm ordering a guardian to fill out a Medicaid application. I'm revoking your power of attorney. I said, why, Your Honor, would you do something like that? I wasn't even served a guardianship petition. I had power of attorney. She goes, because I said so. No laws, no statutes. There is not a single statute that says you can imprison somebody for the rest of their life to fill out a Medicaid application, which is fraudulent in the first place. My mom didn't need Medicaid. Since then, I was treated worse than this woman. I've been demonized, ostracized. I've been completely devastated and destroyed. They have broken into my home, raped and pillaged my home. A public administrator just said on a trial, on the record, I have her art, I'm an artist, and I've sold art collections all over the world. Yeah, I broke in her home and took her art. It's in my offices, it looks great. So my time is up, but I will say this. You have a big problem in probate. It's called fraud. It's called illegal activity, taking what is not theirs. There is a reason why attorneys are making $100 million a year off of Judge Hallmark, Judge O'Brien, and these other probate judges. I was in those back rooms. Unfortunately, I didn't have a FBI wire on me, but I saw it all. I can talk about it. This is criminal activity, and now I'm being hounded by sheriffs. I was assaulted at the court. Sergeant Tovar covered up an assault, destroyed evidence, destroyed witness statements. My mother was assaulted. He destroyed her statement. And then I went up to Jessica Cooper's office, and they sent up 3 sheriffs up there who told, I won't say a name, but Jessica Cooper, that I was dangerous. So these sheriffs insisted she leave the door open so they could stand there. And when I walked out of Jessica Cooper's office, the sheriffs had their ears plastered onto the wall, which was alarming. And I said, hey, if you need to know something, just ask. So there's cover-ups going on with the sheriffs. They're all in cahoots in this courthouse. There's an incredible, and I mean an incredible corruption ring going on between facilities, nursing homes, these judges, and their attorneys. Now, whether or not these judges are complicit, I didn't accuse that they are complicit. But a judge is a judge and is responsible for that office. Okay, so if a president is allowing hundreds and thousands of people to be killed under his reign, he's responsible, and I'm holding them responsible, and I could never get any help because anytime somebody kidnaps your family member, it becomes so emotional that you are willing to pay any price. I just turned 65. I worked 45 years. I'm not rich, I'm an artist, but I managed to save $500,000 to care for my mother in her old age. Every penny is gone, and now I've just got her out. I just freed her, okay, because I had to put a noose around Hallmark's neck and show her how she was coming down, that she freed her. But I'm saying that no one in this county is doing their job. No one stepped up. I've been to every representative, I've been to Washington, CIA, FBI, and everywhere else. And they tell me you've got to go back to the Oakland County body of government who does nothing. And outside of politics, which seems to go on every day, nobody's doing anything, and a lot of families are suffering. Now, I've liberated my mother 2 days ago. My mom is free, but I have to be in a nightmare fighting now for our house, so I have a home to take her to. So I'm asking you, like everyone else, step up, take a look, open your eyes at what's going on in your own backyard, because it's ugly.
Thank you. Next on the list, I guess I have a question here. It looks like there is a request to have people dial in by the phone. Yeah, so normally, when there's people that aren't able to be here physically, we ask that we're noticed of that so that we can make sure we have the proper arrangements in place.
Well, I have it, so could you see if you can hear her, because she's heard everything, because she's the one that had to drive up 8 hours yesterday to also, she got her and.
Well, if there's a physical limitation or if there's some nature, normally we certainly would make accommodations for that. So, is the intention to have, is Kelly the one on the phone call and then there's a few others here in person?
Go ahead, can you do it, Kelly?
What, if you let me run the meeting, I will address it. So if you just wait a minute, I'll walk through what we're gonna do here. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to allow her to talk under the understanding that there is some type of physical or inability that doesn't prevent her to be here. Or we cannot allow her to talk. I mean, we don't have a policy that allows her to talk. So the problem is there's no accommodation of being able to hear her. So is she would like to speak for 3 minutes on the phone? Well, we weren't noticed, so we haven't made any preparations for it, which is what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Talk a little louder and try one more time, gentlemen. Try again. Can you hear me? Louder. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Go ahead, Kelly. Hello? Talk, Kelly, so we can see if we can hear you.
Hello, my name's Kelly Moberly.
Go ahead.
I'm from Kentucky. My Aunt Thelma lives in Oakland County. I received a call in February that my aunt was in the hospital. They had found her roaming in the streets. I called.
Can you set the 3 minutes?
Told them I would be there on a Monday to take my aunt home and take care of her. They had a meeting on Friday with an attorney they had appointed as temporary guardian, even though that guardian knew I was coming up on Monday. She interviewed people that my aunt had met in a McDonald's parking lot and decided to put my aunt in a nursing home. I arrived on Monday. My aunt was still in the hospital. I asked him if I could take her home. I had taken care of my aunt again and again over the years when she needed me after surgeries. She had fallen and broken her wrist a few years before I had taken care of her. They refused to let me take her home. They placed her into a nursing home, a horrendous place, where she was shoved down and attacked. I agreed in court to be her co-guardian and not the conservator due to the fact I wanted her out of this place. It still took me over 6 weeks to get her to her own home. Her niece, who had taken care of her all this time, I mean, I didn't have a criminal record. I had perfect credit. I had taken care of my aunt before, yet still, I had to give guardianship and conservatorship to an attorney that didn't even know my aunt. After I finally got her home, the first day there, I called Jennifer Carney and said, I need the key to my aunt's car. I need to move it to the other side of the garage. Within 2 hours, someone knocked on my door with the rollback and took my aunt's Jaguar, which they sold. I had come to Michigan and my son had dropped me off because I'd always used my aunt's car to drive her around when I took care of her. Now, my aunt wanted me to drive her around in her car, not my Camry. I went back to court, I believe, 4 different times. Every time I went, the attorney had something to say about me that was not true. Said that I was living off my aunt because I wasn't paying my aunt rent while I was taking care of my aunt.
30 seconds,
I
Kelly.
wasn't charging my aunt anything to take care of her because she was my aunt and I loved her.
and I wanted her to be able to be taken care of in her home. They sent people in from nursing agencies to help take care of my aunt once a week for 3 hours a day. I wasn't allowed to access any money to pay someone to come in and help me take care of my aunt at night or during the day.
Kelly, you have to wrap it up. Kelly, you have to wrap it up. 10 seconds.
Oh, finally, yesterday I went to court and the judge gave me guardianship and conservatorship and allowed me to bring her back to Kentucky. But that was only after months of begging and pleading and giving facts and running through so much of my aunt's money that was unnecessarily paid to people that did nothing.
Okay,
I was just really disappointed in the system that a family member who stepped up and a family member that the person wanted to take care of them got struck down so many times on falsified testimony.
Yeah, if
Okay,
we
thank
could,
you, Kelly.
we're going to have her conclude her comments now. So we have the other question I would make for the lady on the phone. If she is so inclined, she can provide her comments in writing and send them to the Board of Commissioners, 1200 North Telegraph, and we'll count her full comments in the minutes of the meeting. So it's another option. So we have two additional folks here in public comment, Christine Aboud maybe, and Gretchen Hammonds. So we'll start with Christine. Morning.
My name is Christine Sullivan Aboud, and I'm a retired 40-year veteran of Detroit Public Schools. Also work with Michigan Senior Olympics, volunteer, also on boards, working with elder abuse care in Southeast Michigan with Benny Napoleon, and also with Kim Worthy and many pastors across Southeast Michigan in churches in Detroit and so forth, trying to end this corruption of elder abuse. Unfortunately, I too am a victim of this criminal behavior in Oakland County probate courts. My father would be rolling over in his grave right now. He was the founder of one of Michigan's premier law firms of 60 attorneys, Sullivan, Ward, Tyler, Asher, and I'm his daughter. And he would be rolling in his grave right now, finding out the unethical behavior of these judges and elder abuse and elder trafficking for profit. Probate judges have a obligation to follow the law, just like we do. Michigan law, MCL 700-5306, provides for guardianship in a priority order. Number 1, for somebody to come forward. Number 2 or 3, family member. All the way at the bottom is, if nobody else is available, a court may appoint a guardian. What's happening next door to you, under your noses, is you have judges that are up there that are violating and skipping the law of the family members and appointing their own public administrators, who for years were appointed by the Michigan Attorney General to do a different job, which is to handle the decedents' estates of people who have died. Now they come out of the woodwork under the Attorney General as a public administrator, and they are taking over human trafficking over there. Briefly, I went to Oakland County, where my mom was under my brother's legal care and was being abused. She was being isolated. I went in with my rights, Michigan law 700-5306, and applied for guardianship. I wasn't even allowed to talk in court, not even allowed to talk. She had the obligation, the judge, to look at my evidence. She looked at nothing. She just said, okay, you need a guardian? This guy here. will be your guardian. And the minute he was appointed, he started pocket rolling all his money. Then I was put under guarded visitation. I was escorted and only allowed to see my mother twice a month. My son, the grandchildren, were only allowed to see her twice a month. They told me if I wanted to see her more, I had to pay for it. Who pays to see their own mother when you're stepping forward as a family member to help out in an abusive situation? That's what happened. And the payroll is continuing to this day. As a result, my son, who is bipolar, did not fare well to this family breakup. There's only the three of us, my mother, my son in Florida, and I. And because mom was eliminated and we had to be guarded and watched every minute, the 2 times a month that we were allowed to see her, he tried to commit suicide. And I sat in an emergency room for 5 hours as he was recovering from this. And his psychologist said it was directly an effect of this court visitation where he was kept for no reason from seeing his grandmother. We missed all of her holidays, all of her 90th birthday, and it's still continuing. Fortunately, I went in myself to court and was my own lawyer and nailed that judge against the wall with the laws. And she said, okay, you get no visit, the restriction is off, but your son will be your supervisor.
If you could take a minute and conclude your comments, we'd appreciate it.
Yes, Judge Hallmark was the one. And so, Michigan law, there's a Michigan law back in the 30s that restricts the amount of guardians for people under normal experiences. And it's believed that it is said that it's 10 to 13 people per guardian. My guardian that was appointed by Judge Hallmark has 700. And another one, 1,300. We're talking about human trafficking of elder people, violating Michigan law, throwing it in the garbage, and throwing the family members in isolation.
Right.
And then they take the assets. I, for one, am not going to roll over and allow this to happen. We are on a mission because we're the baby boomers of the 60s, and our generation is coming up next. If these criminals see a corporation developing out of human trafficking of elders, they will continue for my generation. And I've already been up to Lansing and spoke with Carrie Casey Kasem's daughter, Glenn Campbell's son, and Mickey Rooney's daughter against Senate Bill 713 to be passed to prevent any of this happening in the courts and to change the laws in Michigan and around the country. We are in contact with AAAPG, which is Americans Against Abusive Guardians and Court Appointed and all this stuff. It's happening around the country.
Mm-hmm. Ma'am, if you want to conclude your remarks, and it looks like you might have notes, you're welcome to submit all your remarks to the record. But if you could take a minute and conclude, I want to give the others that are here to speak a chance.
Under the guardianship, I noticed he falsified his yearly guardian report. I looked at it, it was a mess. He didn't document any visits, he falsified. The first time I went to go see her, I wasn't allowed. You know why? Because she was already in the hospital with a urinary tract infection. How did that happen? When I was allowed 2 weeks later to go visit my mother under this court-appointed guardian, here's what she looked like. She was a beautiful woman, always got her hair done every week, makeup, everything, looked like Queen Elizabeth. Here she is with bruises on her face, lacerations, cuts that were covered by Band-Aids. I was not allowed to speak. I was silenced. The supervisor said, you're not allowed to ask them what happened. There was no incident report put on the guardian's report, and another hospitalization, that first hospitalization wasn't even on John Young's yearly guardian report. He falsified the documents.
Okay.
So I'm going to end it with that, and there's a lot more, evidence that I have here. But I just want to conclude in saying that if a family has an old person in it, it possesses a jewel. This is a Chinese proverb. Maybe we better step out of this country and look at what the Chinese know. That a family member, as they get older, is a jewel to be respected, not to be abused and pillaged of their
All right.
wealth.
Thank you for your comments. Gretchen Hammonds.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to address this honorable committee, so thank you very much. Please indulge me, I'm a writer, I'm not a speaker, so I'm going to speak from notes. This is I think you will appreciate, a time saver for me. My name is Gretchen Hammond. I'm an investigative journalist. I authored the national article on the Brun Wahab case for Tablet Magazine, which I think some of you are aware of. If not, I will happily share it with you. After the publication of that article, I was approached by numerous families who are residents of Oakland County, and they provided me with stories, all of which, like the Wahab case, were corroborated by court documentation. Excuse me, thank you. And correspondence between the families and the 4 public administrators who've been given basic carte blanche roles of guardian, conservator, or both over these wards. These stories were horrific and disturbing. I'm usually tasked with trying to keep a sort of dispassionate, emotional distance. However, it is very difficult when I, for example, hear the story of Billy, who was a World War II Navy veteran who took part in the D-Day landings. Billy was given guardianship, was given over to guardianship by this court in 2015. His assets were systematically depleted, and he was placed in isolation in a nursing facility where he died alone and covered in scabies mites, which are an infestation that happens in filthy conditions. The family have still not been allowed to receive medical records from that home. So it was stories like that that have brought me here to engage in a systematic investigation, a detailed investigation, a data-driven investigation, and a story-driven investigation to determine whether the issues that are occurring in this court are systemic. Given my duty to get all sides of the story, and given your charge to look after the wards of this county, I would like to sort of offer you the opportunity to reach out to me for discussions on or off the record, where I can discuss my findings. I cannot discuss them in an open forum like this, obviously, but I'm happy to meet with you if you would like, and we can discuss those one-on-one as I move forward with the investigation. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for your care of the citizens of this county. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for your comments. And I just want to make a comment, although I'm not, as I mentioned, we don't engage or debate during public comment, but I know there's a desire regarding this board and the activities or accusations within the probate court, but procedurally, the courts are really overseen by the state court administrative offices, of which we do have contact information, et cetera. And I don't know if you have already or not, but I think if you have specific instances, which it sounds like many of you do, I believe those also should be formally documented and provided to the Chief Judge Kate Ryan, who is the Chief Judge of the Probate Court. However, secondarily, the state court administrative office is separated from the courts. Their duty and their requirement as an agency is just to ensure that the courts are accountable, et cetera. So if you haven't gone down that path, we have some information that we can share with you so that we can make sure we're chasing the issues in the proper places. In regards to public comment, those are all the individuals that formally had signed up and had a chance to speak. Is there anybody here today that didn't get a chance to sign up and that would like to speak? Seeing none, I'll close public comment, and we will move on to the remaining items on our agenda. Before addressing the consent agenda, we need to adopt a resolution or adopt a motion that would allow us to amend miscellaneous resolutions 18-250, 18-272, 18273, 18274, 18277, 18278, 18281, 18282, 18284, 18285, and 18286. So this motion allows us to amend those resolutions prior to adopting them on the consent agenda, and the amendment is to allow individual commissioners that did not get an opportunity to sign those resolutions that we just mentioned to have their names included as we approve the consent agenda. So I'll take a motion on that action from Commissioner Taub, supported by Gershenson. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Commissioners Crawford.
Yes.
Fleming.
Yes.
Gershenson. Gingell.
Yes.
Hoffman. Jackson.
Yes.
Kokendorfer.
Yes.
Kowal.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Middleton. Quarles. Spiz.
Yes.
Taub.
Yes.
Teets. Whitebert.
Yes.
Woodward. Zach. Berman. Bowman.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 20 yeas, 0 nays.
20 yeas, 0 nays. The motion has been approved. Now we'll move on to the consent agenda, which will include the additional signatures for all the resolutions previously addressed. And I'll take a motion to approve all the items on the consent agenda, moved by Long, supported by McGilvray. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll on the consent agenda.
Commissioners Fleming.
Yes.
Gershenson. Gingell.
Yes.
Hoffman. Jackson.
Yes.
Kokendorfer.
Yes.
Kowal.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Middleton. Quarles. Spiz.
Yes.
Taub. Teets. Whitebert.
Yes.
Woodward. Zach. Berman. Bowman.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 20 yeas, 0 nays.
20 yeas, 0 nays. The items on the consent agenda have been adopted. And now on to the regular agenda. We have 2 committees to come before us this morning. I'll start with the General Government Committee. For that, I'll call on the chairperson of the General Government Committee, Commissioner Christine Long. Commissioner Long.
Okay, just 2 items. Board of Commissioners, designation of the bicentennial year and establishment of the Oakland County Bicentennial Executive Committee and Advisory Board, and that's a referral to Finance.
Without objection, we refer to the Finance Committee.
And next item, Board of Commissioners, Library Board appointment. The General Government Committee have reviewed the above referenced appointment on July 30th, 2018. Reports with a recommendation to reappoint Shelley Taub to the Library Board for a 5-year term from August 25th, 2018 to the August 24th, 2023. Chairperson, on behalf of the General Government Committee, I move the acceptance of the foregoing report.
Okay, as this is an appointment, we'll do it in 2 steps. We'll first move on the acceptance of the report, so I'll take a motion by Long, supported by Woodward. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Report's been accepted. Now on the appointment, I'll take a motion by Long, supported by Woodward. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Commissioners Gershenson. Gingell.
Yes.
Hoffman. Jackson.
Yes.
Kokendorfer.
Yes.
Kowal.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
McGilvray. Middleton. Quarles. Spiz.
Yes.
Taub.
Yes.
Teets. Whitebert.
Yes.
Woodward. Zach.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Fleming.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 20 yeas, 0 nays.
20 yeas, 0 nays. The appointment's been confirmed. Commissioner
All
Long.
right, congratulations, Commissioner Taub. Yeah. And that concludes general government reports.
Next is the Planning and Building Committee, and I'll call on the chairperson of that committee, Commissioner Phil Whitebert. Commissioner Whitebert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have 2 items. The first item is miscellaneous resolution, Parks and Recreation Commission Safety Path Bill of Sale Easement. I'd ask that be referred to Finance.
Without objection, we'll refer to the Finance Committee.
And the second item is miscellaneous resolution, Water Resources Commissioner, a unit reorganization. I'd ask that be referred to both Human Resources and to Finance.
Without objection, we'll refer to the Human Resource and Finance Committees.
And that concludes the report of the Planning and Building Committee.
Thank you very much. On to the remaining items of our agenda. There are no special committees, no special order business, no unfinished business. We do have a resolution to be introduced, I believe, so I'll open up items for new and miscellaneous business. Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a resolution to support Michigan House Bill 5857, Stemming Teenage Opioid Proliferating the Stop Bill. and refer that to general government.
Without-
And I think, I mean, it was distributed, but I don't know if the blue black ever made it over to the Republican caucus. So if anyone wants to sign on to it,
Okay.
I will hold it until.
All right, we'll make it available, and without objection, we'll refer to the General Government Committee. Any other new or miscellaneous business or any announcements to be made? Commissioner Jackson.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to announce today that this Saturday, this coming Saturday, at the Southfield Public Library, beginning at 9 o'clock until 2 o'clock p.m., we're going to be holding our 4th annual SOAP event, Save Our Adolescents from Prostitution, in advance of the Dream Cruise. We're going to be having an educational seminar first thing in the morning, ending around noon. Then we'll be going out to most every hotel or motel in Oakland County with information about the missing and information about reporting any incidents or possibilities of human trafficking. So it's this Saturday. It's a free event. Lunch will be provided. Thank you.
You're welcome. Commissioner Gershenson.
Thank you. The Healthy Oakland Partnership, in partnership with our health department, will be having their Family Market Day this Sunday, and that's where they give free coupons to seniors and low-income residents with proof. They give them a $5 coupon for free fruits and vegetables that is now matched. So it's really a great event, a great family event. I encourage anybody to go this Saturday to the Oakland County Market.
Commissioner Long.
That just remind me too, as an airport committee member, we have the airport open house on Sunday, and it's 10 to 4. And if you haven't brought any your family members, grandchildren, family, it's very nice. They set it up very nice. There's a lot of people go there. Everything's free. I think there's a $5 parking fee, but everything else is free when you get there. So it's a very good event.
All right, I have Commissioner Taub and then Crawford. Commissioner Taub.
Thank you very much. It's Youth Assistance Day at the Birmingham Farmers Market on Sunday. So we encourage everyone, it's free, obviously. All you have to do is buy vegetables if you wish, or fruits or flowers. But we have a wonderful booth set up for children and grandchildren to do all kinds of crafts and such. So I welcome everyone to come.
Commissioner Crawford.
Follow up on Commissioner Long's comment. The air show is 10 to 4 with, the open house is 10 to 4 with an air show at 2 o'clock. So that's sort of the highlight of the whole thing. So try to make that if you can. Also, we have a airport committee meeting immediately following this about 11:05. So please be there.
Yes, Madam Clerk.
I just want to remind everyone that the canvass of the election is going on. I know I've invited you many times to come see what the canvassers do. You choose them. So if you want to come down, it is open to the public just to see what the process. There's a public viewing area, so come on down.
Any other new miscellaneous business or announcements? Seeing none, I'll announce that we're adjourned to August 22nd, 2018 at 7 p.m. or at the call of the chair. We are adjourned.